Hello, EarthGen. This is Kevin Wilhelm, the CEO of Sustainable Business Consulting. We just wanted to say we're so proud of all the work that you do, everything you do to make our schools healthier, cleaner, educating our students, and really bringing the issues to the forefront of what our community and our students need to know. We're a proud sponsor and glad to be part of it.
Joy. A feeling so full and happy that you can't contain yourself. But no matter what, you can never have too much of it. Enjoy the joy at Aegis Living.
I'm Laura McNeil, president of PNC Bank. We support early childhood education through our Grow Up Great program, and we are so proud to support EarthGen in their efforts to teach children about conservation and sustaining the environment.
Hi, and thanks for joining us tonight. My name is Steve Shestag, and I'm Director of Environmental Sustainability for the Boeing Company, and I serve on the Board of Directors for EarthGen. Boeing is proud of our long-standing partnership with EarthGen and excited to sponsor tonight's event. With your support, EarthGen can continue to provide the tools and knowledge to educators and students that they need to be leaders in the community for climate solutions and environmental justice. Thanks for your support and enjoy tonight's event.
Hello, EarthGen. This is Kevin Wilhelm, the CEO of Sustainable Business Consulting. We just wanted to say we're so proud of all the work that you do, everything you do to make our schools healthier, cleaner, educating our students, and really bringing the issues to the forefront of what our community and our students need to know. We're a proud sponsor and glad to be part of it.
Joy. A feeling so full and happy that you can't contain yourself. But no matter what, you can never have too much of it. Enjoy the joy at Aegis Living.
I'm Laura McNeil, president of PNC Bank. We support early childhood education through our Grow Up Great program, and we are so proud to support EarthGen in their efforts to teach children about conservation and sustaining the environment.
Hi, and thanks for joining us tonight. My name is Steve Shestag, and I'm Director of Environmental Sustainability for the Boeing Company, and I serve on the Board of Directors for EarthGen. Bowen is proud of our long-standing partnership with EarthGen and excited to sponsor tonight's event. With your support, EarthGen can continue to provide the tools and knowledge to educators and students that they need to be leaders in the community for climate solutions and environmental justice. Thanks for your support and enjoy tonight's event.
Hello, EarthGen. This is Kevin Wilhelm, the CEO of Sustainable Business Consulting. We just wanted to say we're so proud of all the work that you do, everything you do to make our schools healthier, cleaner, educating our students, and really bringing the issues to the forefront of what our community and our students need to know. We're a proud sponsor and glad to be part of it.
Joy. A feeling so full and happy that you can't contain yourself. But no matter what, you can never have too much of it. Enjoy the joy at Aegis Living.
I'm Laura McNeil, president of PNC Bank. We support early childhood education through our Grow Up Great program, and we are so proud to support EarthGen in their efforts to teach children about conservation and sustaining the environment.
Hi, and thanks for joining us tonight. My name is Steve Shestag, and I'm Director of Environmental Sustainability for the Bowen Company, and I serve on the Board of Directors for EarthGen. Bowen is proud of our long-standing partnership with EarthGen and excited to sponsor tonight's event. With your support, EarthGen can continue to provide the tools and knowledge to educators and students that they need to be leaders in the community for climate solutions and environmental justice. Thanks for your support and enjoy tonight's event.
Hello, EarthGen. This is Kevin Wilhelm, the CEO of Sustainable Business Consulting. We just wanted to say we're so proud of all the work that you do, everything you do to make our schools healthier, cleaner, educating our students, and really bringing the issues to the forefront of what our community and our students need to know. We're a proud sponsor and glad to be part of it.
Joy. A feeling so full and happy that you can't contain yourself. But no matter what, you can never have too much of it. Enjoy the joy at Aegis Living.
I'm Laura McNeil, president of PNC Bank. We support early childhood education through our Grow Up Great program, and we are so proud to support EarthGen in their efforts to teach children about conservation and sustaining the environment.
Hi, and thanks for joining us tonight. My name is Steve Shestag, and I'm Director of Environmental Sustainability for the Boeing Company, and I serve on the Board of Directors for EarthGen. Boeing is proud of our long-standing partnership with EarthGen and excited to sponsor tonight's event. With your support, EarthGen can continue to provide the tools and knowledge to educators and students that they need to be leaders in the community for climate solutions and environmental justice. Thanks for your support and enjoy tonight's event.
Hello, EarthGen. This is Kevin Wilhelm, the CEO of Sustainable Business Consulting. We just wanted to say we're so proud of all the work that you do, everything you do to make our schools healthier, cleaner, educating our students, and really bringing the issues to the forefront of what our community and our students need to know. We're a proud sponsor and glad to be part of it.
Joy. A feeling so full and happy that you can't contain yourself. But no matter what, you can never have too much of it. Enjoy the joy at Aegis Living.
I'm Laura McNeil, president of PNC Bank. We support early childhood education through our Grow Up Great program, and we are so proud to support EarthGen in their efforts to teach children about conservation and sustaining the environment.
Hi, and thanks for joining us tonight. My name is Steve Shestag, and I'm Director of Environmental Sustainability for the Boeing Company, and I serve on the Board of Directors for EarthGen. Bowen is proud of our long-standing partnership with EarthGen and excited to sponsor tonight's event. With your support, EarthGen can continue to provide the tools and knowledge to educators and students that they need to be leaders in the community for climate solutions and environmental justice. Thanks for your support and enjoy tonight's event.
Hello and welcome. Get comfortable, grab your snacks, your dinner, your dessert, your beverages, and our program will start at 7 p.m. See you then.
Hello, EarthGen. This is Kevin Wilhelm, the CEO of Sustainable Business Consulting. We just wanted to say we're so proud of all the work that you do, everything you do to make our schools healthier, cleaner, educating our students, and really bringing the issues to the forefront of what our community and our students need to know. We're a proud sponsor and glad to be part of it.
Joy. A feeling so full and happy that you can't contain yourself. But no matter what, you can never have too much of it. Enjoy the joy at Aegis Living.
I'm Laura McNeil, president of PNC Bank. We support early childhood education through our Grow Up Great program, and we are so proud to support EarthGen in their efforts to teach children about conservation and sustaining the environment.
Hi, and thanks for joining us tonight. My name is Steve Shestag, and I'm Director of Environmental Sustainability for the Bowen Company, and I serve on the Board of Directors for EarthGen. Bowen is proud of our long-standing partnership with EarthGen and excited to sponsor tonight's event. With your support, EarthGen can continue to provide the tools and knowledge to educators and students that they need to be leaders in the community for climate solutions and environmental justice. Thanks for your support and enjoy tonight's event.
Good evening. My name is Nairi Hartunian, and I'm the Program Director at EarthGen. Our team at EarthGen is grateful to live and work on the lands of the Lushootseed-speaking peoples, including the Duwamish, Muckleshoot, Snoqualmie, Suquamish, Tulalip, and Puyallup, among others. We acknowledge these lands as part of our ongoing commitment to support tribal sovereignty with Indigenous peoples here in Washington, across the United States, and globally. This looks like learning more about Native history, listening to and understanding community dynamics, spending time on our lands and waters, supporting Indigenous-owned businesses and organizations, and sharing resources with others, both personally and through our work. We acknowledge that the land we live and work on, not only because it's a moral imperative to do so, and to recognize those who have stewarded the land since time immemorial, but also because it's the foundation for creating just and sustainable communities. We recognize that the colonization of the land has had a profoundly negative impact on the environment, and we're committed to working with tribal communities to heal ourselves, our communities, and the planet. If you haven't done so before, I encourage you to check out the resource in the chat to learn about the tribal nations whose land you reside on, and to look for ways to support tribal nations. If you know the Indigenous lands on which you reside, please feel free to share that with us in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you, Nairi. As many of you know, EarthGen's mission is to equip youth and school communities to become leaders for a healthy environment. The funds we raise here tonight will help bring students across Washington access to new opportunities for environmental learning and action. The next generation will inherit the interconnected issues of climate change and social injustice. Your support of EarthGen will help ensure every young person can learn and take action to shape a more just and sustainable future for us all. Throughout the evening, we'll celebrate and hear from youth environmental leaders, educators, and EarthGen partners across Washington. We hope you'll find inspiration in their stories and feel the power of our EarthGen community. We promise you a night of joy and inspiration, a little bit of trivia, and the chance to make a difference. It will be very easy for you to donate at any time during tonight's event. Just click on the link we're providing in the chat. You may be wondering, how can I communicate with the other people at this event right now? Easy. You can join us in the chat. If you have never chatted on YouTube before, don't worry, it's easy to start. You may need to make a YouTube account, which is called a channel. It's quick and free and easy to set up. You can do it right now. The first step is to click the sign in button located in the upper right corner. Next, you'll log in using your Google account or create a new account. Once you're logged in, click on the circle in the top right-hand corner and select Create a Channel. Then enter your name. That's it. Now you can join us in the chat. For those who would like closed captioning for tonight's program, visit the link we are dropping in the chat. Now let's kick up the conversation in the chat. Right now, I'd like all of us to show some love to our students and teachers who are joining us from across the state. Say hello and let us know where you're joining us from. When you're ready to have even more fun, add some emojis. The emojis are available right below the line where you type your chat. Please share hearts and stars and any other fun emojis and kind words. Let's all welcome each other to this celebration. All right, I see the chat is very active, so keep it going. I love to see it. I would also like to recognize our elected officials. Thank you so much for your public service and for joining us tonight. If you are an elected official, please say hello in the chat. We'll hear more from one of our elected officials later in the program. Okay, so I'm looking, and it seems like you all have a handle on this chat business. So let's have some fun and play some trivia, just for the joy of learning about our wonderful state. You're going to answer in the chat via multiple choice. Ready? Okay, did you know that we have monarch butterflies right here in Washington state? Where do the majority of monarch butterflies make their home in the summer? Is it A, Okanagan County, B, Benton County, C, Whatcom County, or D, King County? Go ahead and drop your guess in the chat. Okay, there's a little delay, so I'm not seeing any of your guesses yet, but the chat has been active, So I have faith that you are dropping your guesses. And if you guessed B, you are correct. The answer is B, Benton County. Everyone who got it right, congratulations. Our chat team is going to give you gold stars in the chat. Now, has anyone ever seen a monarch butterfly in Washington? If so, go ahead and drop a butterfly in the chat. Later on tonight, you'll hear more about EarthGen's Monarch Mystery Program, so stay tuned. In a moment, we'll hear from EarthGen's Executive Director, Meredith Lohr. But before we bring Meredith on screen, please join me in welcoming a group of dedicated environmental leaders from Geyser Middle School in Vancouver, Washington. These students will share their thoughts about why it's so important that young people are engaged in environmental learning and action. Here to introduce these students is EarthGen's Outreach Coordinator, Shannon Brennan.
Good evening, everyone. I am so honored to have the opportunity to sit down with 4 8th grade students from Geyser Middle School in Vancouver, Washington. We're going to be talking about the importance of youth environmental leadership. Geyser has a really long history of engaging with EarthGen's programs, especially school certification, thanks to the leadership and dedication of Dr. Charlene Shea and her students. For the last 10 years, Geyser has demonstrated its commitment to being a leader for environmental action and is one of only a handful of schools to reach platinum level certification. This is currently the highest level of certification that EarthGen offers. Even last year, in the midst of a global pandemic, students on Geyser's Green Team tackled a variety of month-long action projects at home with their families. Not only did they earn a new certification for their school, but they also helped their family to take action for the environment by reducing water and energy use, increasing recycling, and making sustainable food choices. Thank you so much, Geyser students, for being here today. Let's just take a moment and have each of you introduce yourself, and then we'll get started and jump into our questions.
Hello, my name is Elizabeth.
Hello, my name is Winter.
Hi, my name is Sydney.
My name is Maya.
The first step towards changing the world is learning more about it. They can spread the word to other people, and the more people that are involved, like the more they can help. But as we collect more people that'll help the environment, the more it'll change the world.
These topics are important in a student's education because it allows students to understand how their actions affect the earth and the climate and the environment and just the world around them in general.
The world will probably be much cleaner and healthier if every single student had access to that climate science and the opportunity to take action for the environment.
It would impact our environment greatly, and not only students would know how to keep our environment safe, the whole message would spread, which makes not only our environment better, but also our community itself, leaving our future generation good morals and a better life.
Theoretically, if every student did have access to climate science education, it would have almost probably an immediate impact on the earth and how it's doing, because there would be millions of kids and adults that would have the opportunity to help out the environment.
I think it's the adults out there. I think we should just keep on continuing encouraging students.
I think that it's not only important that adults are teaching students on how to improve it, but I also think that if adults would help them get more hands-on, they would be able to understand more of what's going on, because we don't know what's it going to be like in the future. And I just think going out there and helping, we may be able to prevent what lies in the future ahead of us.
If you're hesitant or unsure to take environmental action, I'd suggest you learn more about it just so you know what's going on.
It's our job to influence either past generations or future generations coming. to help take initiative, because who else will?
My advice to students who are hesitant and unsure how to take environmental action is if you're planning on having a future and continue your legacy, I highly recommend you to take a step forward and contribute.
Absolutely. Students can make such a big difference in shaping our future. Thank you all so much for joining me and sharing your perspectives. I cannot wait to see what Geyser achieves this year.
Good evening. My name is Meredith Lohr, and I'm the Executive Director and co-founder of EarthGen. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We have so many wonderful people involved in this organization, and we're so grateful for you all. The students, like the amazing leaders from Geyser Middle School, hundreds of teachers, as well as our talented staff, dedicated board of directors, and all of our incredible sponsors and supporters. Thanks so much for all of the ways you contribute to EarthGen. And thanks to every one of you for making EarthGen a priority tonight. We all know that the last year and a half have been challenging for kids and families everywhere. School closures caused by the pandemic have left many students behind in their learning, and teachers are working hard to catch them up. In the meantime, the signs of climate change, like fires, floods, and droughts, have become more difficult to ignore, and people are feeling the impacts on their health and well-being. Unfortunately, not all people experience the burdens of climate change equally, and Black, Indigenous, and people of color are receiving an unfair share. At EarthGen, we recognize that our children will inherit this legacy of climate change and environmental injustice. These are the reasons why we are highly motivated to do our work. And we're not alone. You heard the Geyser students. They want action now. They want the opportunity to step forward and make change. The kids are why we're here tonight. At EarthGen, we want to make sure that through their education, every young person becomes equipped to be a change maker for a healthy climate. We want every student in Washington to learn and take action for a more just and sustainable world. This year, we're focused on expanding access for young people who have historically lacked these kinds of opportunities. With a specific focus on migrant and bilingual students, we're partnering with local leaders to bring needed resources to thousands of young people in schools across the state. By supporting EarthGen tonight, you're giving these kids the chance to connect their learning with action and help shape a healthy future for us all. Next, we're going to hear from Rebecca Kruger, a high school teacher from Mount Vernon School District, who will share how her experience with EarthGen helped make climate change relevant for her students. Thank you.
I have had the privilege of attending many of EarthGen's workshops over the past few years and appreciate them so much. They've helped me deepen my own understanding of climate change. I think the supporters should know that EarthGen is invaluable to how I teach climate change. I've incorporated climate change studies into most of my units in biology, also in environmental science, and into our freshman class as well. EarthGen is also great about incorporating ways of knowing from our Indigenous leaders. So, for example, right now we're learning about clam harvesting from some of our Swinomish leaders in a Future of Food workshop. EarthGen has also supplied me with resources and data sets, access to specialists in the field, and they're really available for me with any questions that I have. I can email them and they get right back to me either with an answer or with a person to go to for answers. So super supportive. And I also really appreciate that they provide solution-based approaches to learning so that we can empower our students to make changes and focus on some positives so that it's not too daunting when we study climate change, and that we can make positive changes.
Thank you, Meredith and Rebecca, for giving us more context for the importance of the work of EarthGen, especially now. And let's give another shout out to the students from Geyser Middle School, Maya, Elizabeth, Winter, and Sydney. These young people are applying their environmental learning to make changes at home and school. It's our job to make sure these students and every student in Washington can get involved. As Sydney said, the first step toward changing the world is learning more about it. Now is the time when we'll be raising funds to expand access to EarthGen's programs. And I see many people have been donating already. Now let's kick this fundraising up a notch. I'd like everyone to click the donation link that was just shared in the chat. Okay, I'm gonna click on the link as well, and it comes right up. So once you're on the donation page, you're gonna click on the blue sparkly donate button and follow the steps to donate. Now don't be shy, everyone. You can jump right in and help us work towards our goal. It's just that easy. Now, we're sharing a slide now to help you think about what level of giving is right for you. No matter the amount of your gift, I hope you will consider stretching your support tonight. Your gift will help expand access to climate science and environmental justice programs for young people across Washington. Our goal is to raise $100,000 through tonight's Spark Action event. We know that it takes many people coming together to create change. It's exciting to watch the EarthGen community grow as we welcome new friends and donors to the organization. Tonight, I'm excited to share with you that EarthGen's board of directors will be matching every gift from our first-time donors. So if this is your first time donating to EarthGen, your gift will instantly be doubled. Whether you are joining us at the $100 or $1,000 level, the EarthGen board just doubled your gift. New donors, let us know who you are when you donate. Just click the new donor box when you make your gift. Thank you all for your generous support and for investing in the next generation of environmental leaders. Your gift makes a big difference. Now it is time to thank a very generous group of companies, our event sponsors. Many of our sponsors are joining us tonight. Please say hello in the chat. We also want to give a special thanks to our gold level sponsors, Malum, Boeing, and PCC Community Markets. Thank you for your remarkable support. Now, did you know that EarthGen has developed programs for migrant and bilingual students? There are more than 30,000 migrant students enrolled in schools in Washington, and many of them suffer from our state's educational opportunity gaps, especially in subjects like science. Unfortunately, school closures due to the pandemic have widened these gaps even more. Kids and families who are already disadvantaged are being hit the hardest. In response, EarthGen is expanding access to environmental education for migrant and bilingual students across the state. This past summer, EarthGen partnered with Tukwila School District to bring our Monarch Mystery program to students in summer programs. In Monarch Mystery, Tukwila students learned about the migration of monarch butterflies through the story of a young migrant girl named Violetta. The students enjoyed learning about pollinators and drawing parallels between butterfly migrations and their own families' journeys. We'll now hear from Tukwila teacher Naz Rokonaki about the impact of the EarthGen's summer program on her students.
It's extremely important for our culturally and linguistically diverse scholars at Tukwila School District to have access to curriculum that draws from their cultural assets and tradition, because then learning becomes more engaging and meaningful. EarthGen has been able to provide a curriculum that is not only aligned to the state science standards, so that our scholars have access to rigorous learning and instruction, but they've also been very intricately being able to weave the migration of the powerful mystery monarchs who cross two borders and arrive in Mexico just on time for Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead. How perfect is the timing of the monarchs that they reach Mexico on time for the Day of the Dead. Personally, for me, to be able to intricately weave the cultural and the social justice issues of migration and Day of the Dead into a standard-based power curriculum is beyond impactful for our scholars at Tukwila. of which 40% are represented by Hispanic and Latinx families. For EarthGen to be able to present a curriculum where scholars from all over the world and who are residing in Tequila are able to take in their cultural traditions and designs and further infuse that into the curriculum is quite an experience in itself. But what truly sets the curriculum apart is that they're able to weave in and take in our scholars' cultural narratives and infuse it into their lesson plans and offer a platform for discussions around social justice issues and environmental issues, which is what makes the lessons so engaging. And it connects the students to their own journeys from their countries into Tequila, and it connects both the Mystery Monarch and Breathing Easier curriculum. Truly offers a connection for scholars to their own narratives.
Thank you, Naz. It is with the combined funding from donors like all of you and support from our state legislature that EarthGen is able to bring hands-on environmental science education programs like Monarch Mystery to migrant and bilingual students across Washington. At the state level, Senator Mona Das has been a champion for expanding access to EarthGen's programs for bilingual and migrant students. Thank you, Senator Das. We're so excited that you can join us tonight.
Hi, EarthGen friends and leaders. It is such an honor to join you today. I am Senator Mona Das from the 47th District in Washington State, and I am thrilled to be in partnership with you as we expand access to environmental science education, something that is absolutely near and dear to my heart. As you may know, I immigrated to the United States with my family when I was just 8 months old. We had $6 in our pockets, and we didn't speak a word of English at home. So when I started kindergarten, not knowing the language and my teachers and my classmates, for me, that was just such a huge barrier. But ultimately, I managed to get through K through 12 school and then to my parents' dream to college and graduate school. And I know how hard it is to be a learner in a new community. It definitely was for me. That is why the work that you do is absolutely crucial. By making education, especially environmental science education, more accessible to migrant and bilingual communities, you will literally open the doors to opportunity, not only for them, but for our planet. You make it more possible for me and others to cherish our Earth and the place that we live. My graduate degree is in sustainable business. And so, protecting the Earth and the environment is something that's extremely important to me. And I will always be honored and excited to work with you and make sure that the legislature and make sure we have more education accessible to all. We really need to show more and more of our young learners why learning about the environment, pursuing dreams in this field, and fighting for our home is so important. Thank you for the work you do, and please know that you have a partner with me.
Thank you, Senator Das. When you give to EarthGen tonight, you are ensuring that students across Washington can have meaningful science learning opportunities connected to issues affecting their own lives. When you give tonight, you are investing in the next generation of change makers for a healthy environment. Our kids and school communities appreciate your support. All right, friends, let's take a look at our thermometer. Our fundraising goal is $100,000. As you can see from the thermometer, we have already raised $59,559 through our campaign that's been going on for the last several days. That's amazing. We have more exciting news to announce tonight. In addition to matching every gift from our new donors, we will also be matching every gift at the $500 donation level. This level is a celebration of the fact that EarthGen will be active in 500 schools across the state this year. And we have a wonderful donor who will match the donations at the $500 level. That's good news, right? If that's good news to you, let me know in the chat. I also want to mention our $100 donation level. Tonight, we will also match every gift at the $100 level. We have a special pool of money provided by a longtime EarthGen donor to match at these two levels. So again, if you can find a way to donate at either the $500 or $100 level, these levels will be matched. Or you can live large and give it both levels. Just roll it up into one donation of $600. We'll be happy to match that too. Thank you to everyone who has already made a donation to our campaign. So while you're making those donations, let's take a moment for our next trivia question. Is everyone ready? Let me know in the chat. All right. How are rain gardens beneficial to our environment? Is it because they, A, protect communities from flooding and drainage problems, B, filter pollution from stormwater, C, create useful spaces for wildlife and people, or D, all of the above? Remember, just drop your answer in the chat, A, B, C, or D. All right, I'm looking at the chat, and as I mentioned earlier, there is a delay, so I'm not seeing your answers yet, but you all have been so active, so I know that you're guessing. So for those of you who guessed D, you're correct. It is D, all of the above. EarthGen has a robust stormwater education program, which you'll hear about in just a few minutes. But first, we're going to hear from another inspiring student, Gigi Searle. Gigi is a high school junior and is joining us tonight from Burlington, Washington. Gigi is going to share why she believes it's so important for students to be engaged in local environmental learning and action.
Good evening. My name is Gigi Searle, and I'm a junior at Burlington Edison High School. My town is located in the northwest part of Washington State. My environmental journey began at a young age because I was lucky enough to have parents who made sustainability a priority in our family. I became more passionate about helping our planet when I witnessed through the news and social media Greta Thunberg speak out on climate change. We were roughly the same age, and she captured the world's attention as a middle school-aged kid. Her ability to stand up to big, scary adults effectively as a young person inspired me to take more direct action in my community. I stepped into a leadership role at my school. I joined my high school's Green Club freshman year. It was really helpful to be surrounded by people who shared passion about the environment. Together, we learned about the environmental issues facing our community. We took part in local garbage cleanups and tree plantings. Doing local activities like these are more beneficial, in my opinion, than collecting funds to donate to a larger, more abstract cause, because you can see the impact firsthand. The other plus side to focusing on local action is that other students and community members can witness our impact and feel more motivated to join in. While I have always been passionate about the environment, something that really kindled my interest was my 7th and 8th grade science class. The teacher tried her hardest to show how important the world around us is. She brought in speakers from Skagit Fisheries Group who talked about different kinds of salmon and how they interact with the ecosystem. We even dissected a salmon and learned about all the different parts. We studied how to prevent pollution in the rivers, explored pH in the water, and planted trees among riverbeds for the habitat. These hands-on experiences made my classmates and me care a lot about the importance of the fish because it made us feel like it was a part of their journey. This is the perfect example of why environmental learning needs to be included in school curriculum everywhere. Without the experiences in my 7th and 8th grade science class, a lot of my classmates would never have even given the declining salmon population a thought, when in fact it is a huge problem in our state. It makes me really sad to think that a lot of other middle school students never got a chance to have this kind of learning in their classes, since it was such an eye-opening occurrence for many, including myself. In my high school years, we learned about how climate change occurs and how fossil fuels are a massive source of pollution. I am very grateful for these learning opportunities. Climate change should be talked about in all classes. It is something that the entire world will face the effects of one day if they haven't already, and by incorporating it throughout our learning, more students will realize that we can make a change. After all, it's my generation that will feel the most impact from these problems. As Greta Thunberg proved to all of us, young people can show older generations a thing or two on environmental activism, but it starts with education. Students need to be a part of the solution. By educating with facts and ways we can help, kids will grow up knowing how to make better decisions. When they get jobs and are able to purchase things, educated students are more likely to avoid purchasing items from corporate polluters. When it comes time to pick a mode of transportation, students will buy more fuel-efficient vehicles and use public transit or carpooling more often. When they reach the voting age, they will most likely vote with the earth in mind. Don't get me wrong, it's not just young people that are important in taking action. Massive problems need massive numbers of people caring enough to do something about it. When it comes to something like climate change, we need all generations on board. I believe environmental learning is a fundamental piece in order for my generation to have a greater impact on the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Gigi, for sharing your story. Each year, EarthGen recognizes community members who have shown leadership in their commitment to supporting environmental learning and action as Green Medalist awardees. Tonight, we will be honoring two very special Green Medalists. Our first awardee of the night is Highline Public Schools, located in South King County. EarthGen's partnership with Highline began more than 5 years ago, working with one teacher, Caitlin Phelan, at Sylvester Middle School. Thanks to the determination of many Highline educators, our work together has grown into a district-wide partnership. EarthGen is collaborating with district leaders, school principals, and classroom teachers to bring stormwater education, rain gardens, and outdoor learning opportunities to schools across Highline. Please enjoy this short video about EarthGen's stormwater education program in Highline, followed by a few words from Highline Superintendent, Dr. Susan Infield.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Becky Bronstein, Program Manager at EarthGen. I had the opportunity to sit down with Dana Dyer, Secondary Science Specialist at Highline Public Schools, to discuss our work together. Over the past 2 years, Dana and I, along with other local partners, have collaborated to create new lessons around the water cycle, stormwater problems, and stormwater solutions, like rain gardens. Sylvester Middle School students learned about these topics and were able to help design and develop the outdoor spaces at Seahurst and Hilltop Elementary. This culminated in the installation of the rain gardens and outdoor classrooms at Seahurst and Hilltop this past April. We're grateful for Highline Public Schools' continued partnership and collaboration, and we can't wait to see what will happen next. I hope you enjoy our conversation, and after, sneak a peek at the installation and impact of these outdoor spaces. Welcome, Dana. So EarthGen has had the opportunity to work at a number of schools in Highline, including nearby Sylvester Middle School, where students also learned about stormwater and then installed a rain garden. This work around stormwater has flowed, pun intended, around the school district, so much so that teachers are visiting these new spaces to learn and see how they can bring this stormwater learning and these projects to their own school. So the question is, why are these opportunities valued at Highline Public Schools?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. And I feel compelled to have experiences for kids at every level of their core science classes similar to this. And as they move through the science program in Highline, that they will become advocates because they'll care about the environment as much as I do.
Why do you like working on projects like those at Seahurst and Hilltop?
Personally, projects like this are the best part of my work. This is what I get so excited about, to partner with organizations like EarthGen and our local cities, to be able to provide these kinds of experiences for kids, these project-based learning experiences, get them outdoors, get them out in nature, care for it, and then pass that on not only to their families now, but hopefully to their families in the future.
That's great. I completely agree. And it's been a mutual reward working with you all and the other collaborators in the area. And it's been a pleasure working across the school district and working with other schools. How do these sorts of projects impact Highland students?
So it makes them feel connected to their space and their community. And when they feel connected and a sense of belonging and appreciation, then as a student, they're going to care for it and then pass that on not only to their families now, but hopefully to their families in the future.
Thanks for that, Dana.
Prior to the rain garden coming in, it was basically a very large sandy field that flooded in the winter and made the space an area where the children really couldn't come out and enjoy themselves. And so this investment in them as learners in their school community, I think just tells them that they are valued, that they're important, that they have many adults and organizations that care about them.
This space has really been transformational to our school, and I think that just really promoting joy of being outside. So there's just so much more rich opportunity for students to be connected to the environment.
This work is so important for our school communities because the more we teach students to appreciate our environment, now they will care for it more in the future. So when we connect them to the beauty of nature, right, in their own neighborhoods and on their school campuses, it helps them feel that sense of belonging to that outdoor space and turn their community. It increases their engagement in science and potentially, have some really inspired to take local action.
I don't think we should ever underestimate the power that students can have. We know that we want to prepare them to be future leaders, but the reality is they can be leaders right now in their own community, no matter how old they are. This is a gift that's going to be for future generations. Students can see these small plants that they've had a hand in planting and caring for, that they can come back in years to come and see how they've grown, and that our community can continue to thrive.
As the superintendent for Highline Public Schools, I want to thank EarthGen for honoring Highline with its Green Medalist Award for our commitment to engaging students in learning about our environment. Highline is a richly diverse school system located just south of Seattle, and one of the great sources of pride in Highline over the years is our Camp Waskowitz. So environmental outdoor learning, taking care of the earth around us, has been a part of the educational experience for every student in Highline for decades. And we are proud of the work that EarthGen in recent years has helped us do to engage our students in really understanding the impact that our actions have on the environment. That's never been more important than it is today. And so I want to thank our Highline staff, everyone at EarthGen who work in partnership to make sure that we are being good stewards of the natural resources around us and of teaching our students the same thing. So I'm incredibly Highline proud, incredibly honored, and incredibly grateful. Thank you, EarthGen.
Thank you, Dr. Enfield. And what a wonderful glimpse into Highline's commitment to environmental education for all students. The money we raise together tonight will help bring these opportunities to every student across Washington. Our next generation of youth are inheriting the interconnected issues of climate change and social injustice. Your gift tonight will help expand EarthGen's programs to ensure every young person can learn and take action to shape a more just and sustainable future for us all. The link to make a gift tonight is in the chat. If you can, please stretch your giving, and remember, all donations from new donors will be matched. We'll also be matching every $100 and $500 gift tonight. Let's go ahead and unlock these matching gifts so far. All right, let's take a look at our thermometer, one last look at our thermometer, and see where we are towards our $100,000 goal. It looks like we are at $81,381. That's amazing. We are so close, so please keep those donations coming in. We're going to keep this campaign open through the weekend. With your help, we will reach our goal. Now let's give a shout out to a special group of volunteers who helped bring us together tonight. EarthGen's Board of Directors and Fundraising Captains. Let's say thank you to this awesome group in the chat. Board members and fundraising captains, please let us know you're here in the chat and we'll say hi to you. Next, we'll share a short video from Richland teacher Carly Hodges about how EarthGen has supported her in bringing climate change education into her Eastern Washington high school. When you make a gift to EarthGen tonight, you are helping ensure that more students have access to educational opportunities like these.
Hello, my name is Carly Hodges, and I wanted to share my experience working with EarthGen. First, I think that it is a really important topic to talk about, climate change, and it's a tough one sometimes to teach kids just because it seems like such a huge problem. And how could one person make a difference? It might seem overwhelming, especially as we're teaching this to our students. But EarthGen has a really great framework and great support that helps us as educators and as leaders in our community to connect climate change to our students in a meaningful way. They have a great framework that provides a project-based learning opportunity for students, and it allows the students to see the impact that they can make in their own community, within the walls of their own school, within the walls of their own classroom. EarthGen, again, has really great support when you're talking about the people, has great online resources, and provides a really great framework to help support and empower youth to do these projects. It's been awesome working with them. I really appreciated that, and I look forward to continuing to work with them in the future.
Thank you, Carly. Our final Green Medalist awardee of the night is Malum Architects. For more than 10 years, Malum has been a committed EarthGen partner. Malum was chosen for this award because of their dedication to advancing sustainability in education. Not only does Malum design beautiful, sustainable school facilities, they also support environmental education programs in schools through their partnership with EarthGen. We are so grateful for Malum's unwavering commitment to creating new opportunities for environmental learning and action for students across Washington. You'll now hear a few words from Malum Principal David Mount.
Hello, I'm David Mount with Malum Architects. It's an incredible honor to be recognized by EarthGen with their Green Medalist Award. At Malum, we believe that community empowerment is the key to sustainable and transformational solutions to create a world where healthy human and environmental systems thrive. EarthGen is making this impact every day across Washington by supporting educators and enabling students to make real environmental change. In our work with school districts, teachers, and students to envision and design their new schools, we see learning happening beyond the four walls of the classroom. Self-directed, hands-on learning are allowing students to discover the world around them and apply their knowledge to solve the problems that they see. With EarthGen's project-based environmental education, students are building these foundations of a healthy future for their communities. We're witnessing every day the dramatic impacts of climate change and social injustice. The human and environmental toll will continue to accelerate without a significant shift in our business as usual. The youth of today recognize this and are ready to lead and do what previous generations failed to do. Since the beginning, Washington Green Schools and now EarthGen understood the capacity of students to lead us towards a better future. Given the right support, our kids will find the solutions and be the change makers that we need. In the face of these challenges that lie ahead, EarthGen is equipping the next generation of leaders with the skills needed to solve these problems: critical thinking, collaboration, communication, and determination. With these skills and the broadening awareness of the world around them, these young people are beginning to shift our path to a more healthy and equitable future for our communities and the planet. EarthGen also recognizes the link between environmental and social justice. They are striving to reach every student in our state with a particular emphasis on accessing marginalized communities where the impacts of climate change are felt the most and where environmental education would typically not be available. Thanks to the work of EarthGen, we have the reason to be optimistic that this new generation will guide us to achieving the positive social and environmental change that must happen. Malum is incredibly proud to support EarthGen, and we look forward to continuing to stand with them as a partner to achieve their vision for our future. Thank you.
Thank you, Malum. And thank you, David, for those wonderful words. As we get towards the end of our program, we're going to do one last trivia question. Get ready. In 2021, the Washington State Legislature secured new funding for projects that invest in environmental solutions. How much funding was secured? Was it A, $945,000, B, $58 million, C, $276 million, or D, $448 million? Drop your answers in the chat And you guys know now, there's the delay, so I'm not going to see your answers. But I know that you're putting those answers in the chat. So if you answered D, you are correct. $448 million, which is amazing. This funding will go towards protecting community forests, investing in green infrastructure to reduce stormwater pollution, and implementing clean energy projects like weatherization for low-income households. Special shout out to our legislators with us tonight for all their amazing work. Now it's almost time to say goodnight, but before we go, I want to raise a glass and thank each of you for joining us and being a part of the EarthGen family. Tonight, we raised $88,581. This is incredible. Thanks to each and every one of you for your generous support to ensure every young person can learn and take action to shape a more just and sustainable future for us all. We would love you to stay involved with EarthGen, and here are a few things you can do. 1, you can share one of the stories you heard tonight with a friend and ask a friend to join you and make a gift to EarthGen. Our campaign will stay open through the weekend. This event can be viewed starting tomorrow on EarthGen's YouTube page. Share this with a friend if they missed out on the live event today. 2, you can ask a young person about their connection to the environment. What are they hoping for in the future? 3, you can join us for EarthGen's Spark Talk series, kicking off on Tuesday, November 9th at noon. This online series is a chance to take a deeper dive into EarthGen's programs, ask questions, and learn more about how we bring climate science and environmental justice programs to young people across the state. And finally, stay connected with us on social media. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Our handles are in the chat. On behalf of all the students, teachers, and everyone at EarthGen, thank you so much and good night.